Good day, everyone. This is a short review or recap about the Canterbury Tales that we have already discussed. This book is a collection of stories told by a group of pilgrims traveling together from London to Canterbury Cathedral to visit the shrine of St. Thomas Becket. To make their journey more fun, they agreed that each pilgrim will tell a story along the way. Now, Chaucer only finished 24 tales, but each one reflects the storyteller's personality, social status, and beliefs. Some are serious, some are funny, some are moral lessons, all full of life and insights into medieval society. Now let's go through them tale by tale. The first tale that was written by Chaucer is The Knight's Tale. It's about two noble cousins, Philemon and Arcite, who were captured by Duke Theseus after a war. While they were in prison, they both fall in love with the same woman named Emily, whom they see from the window. Later, Arcite, which is one of the knights, is freed, but returns in disguise to serve Emily. However, Philemon skips the prison, and they fight for her love. Theseus catches them and organizes a tournament to decide who will marry Emily. In that tournament, Arcite wins, but unfortunately he was thrown from his horse and dies, leaving Philemon to marry her or to marry Emily in the end. This tale is about love, honor, and faith, told in a noble and serious tone, just what we had expected from a knight. Another tale that we have is The Miller's Tale. After the knight's noble story, the miller, who was drunk, insists on telling his own story or his own tale. This one is totally different. It's funny and can be naughty and full of tricks. It's about an old carpenter named John, his young wife Alison, and a clever student named Nicholas, who boards with them or who lives together with them. Nicholas convinces John, which is the husband, that a second great flood is coming. So what John did was to hang tubs from the ceiling that will serve as boat or boats. While John sleeps, Nicholas and Allison is the wife, sneak away together. Then there's Absalom, another man in love with Allison, who tries to kiss her through the window, but Allison plays a prank on him. Later, Absalom gets revenge with a hot iron, and poor John falls and breaks his arm. This tale shows how cleverness and lust can make fools of people. Next tale is the Reeve's Tale. The Reeve, who happens to be also a carpenter himself, takes revenge by mocking the miller. In this tale, a dishonest miller named Simkin cheats two university students, John and Aline, out of their grain. The students decide to get even. When they stay overnight at the miller's house, both of them end up in bed with his wife and daughter. The next morning, there's chaos and they beat up the miller. So this tale is about payback and trickery, and the Reeve tells it just to get back at the miller. Another tale is the Cook's Tale. This one's short and stays unfinished. It's about Perkin Reveler, a young man who loves parties, dancing, and gambling. Because of his bad behavior, his master kicks him out. He moves in with a friend whose wife is a prostitute, and that's where the tale ends. It's clearly meant to be a warning about wasting your youth. Another tale is the Man of Loss, or the Man of Law's Tale. Now we get a serious one. The Man of Law tells the story of Constance, a Roman emperor's daughter. She's a good, faithful Christian woman. A sultan in Syria wants to marry her and even converts to Christianity, but his mother hates it. She murders everyone at the wedding feast, except Constance, who is set adrift at sea. She eventually lands in England, marries King Allah, but is falsely accused of murder and exiled again. In the end, she's reunited with her husband and son. This tale is about faith, patience, and divine protection. Another tale is the wife of Bat's tale. This one's fun, told by the wife of Bath herself, a woman who's had 5 husbands and knows all about love and marriage. Her story is about a knight who commits a terrible crime. To save his life, the queen gives him a task. It is to find out what women truly want. After searching everywhere, he finally meets an old woman who says she has the answer, but he must promise to marry her. She tells him the answer. It's women wants sovereignty, the power to make their own choices. He agrees, and when he lets her decide her own fate, she returns into a young and faithful wife. It's all about respect, equality, and understanding in relationships. Next is the Friar's Tale. The friar tells a story about a corrupt summoner who takes bribes from innocent people. On his way to cheat another victim, he meets a yeoman, who later reveals that he was actually the devil in disguise. When the summoner tries to curse a poor widow, the devil takes him straight to hell. The message of this tale? It's greed and corruption leads to destruction. Next, we have the Summoner's Tale. A greedy friar named John visits a sick man named Thomas, begging for donations. Thomas, who is tired of the friar's greed, tricks him by giving him a so-called gift. And that gift is a fart. The friar tries to figure out how to divide it among his brothers. This tale is childish but funny, but the point is very clear. Its religious hypocrisy is laughable. Let's move on to a tale of patience and virtue. The clerk tells the story of Griselda, a humble woman who marries a nobleman named Walter. To test her obedience, Walter takes away her children and pretends to divorce her. All this is to see if she remains loyal. She never complains or rebels, and in the end, Walter, which is the husband, reveals the truth and restores her to honor. It's a tale about endurance, faith, and humility, although most modern readers, especially in this generation, finds the husband or Walter's cruelty shocking. Another is The Merchant's Tale. This one's a dark comedy about marriage. An old knight named January marries a young woman named May. She quickly begins an affair with his servant named Damian. January, which is the husband, suddenly goes blind, and while he can see, May, which is the wife, and Damian, the servant, make love in a pear tree. When January's sight miraculously returns, May convinces him that she only struggled with Damian to help restore his vision. It's a story of deception and foolishness in love. Next tale that we have is the Squire's Tale. The Squire, the knight's son, tells a tale full of magic and adventure. King Cambuscan receives 4 magical gifts. First is a brass horse that can fly. Another is a mirror that shows danger. Third is a sword that cuts through anything. And fourth is a ring that lets the wearer understand animal speech. His daughter, Canasi, uses the ring to speak to a falcon who has been betrayed by her mate. So this story or this tale isn't finished, but it's full of fantasy and courtly romance. Next is the Franklin's Tale. The Franklin tells a story about honor and generosity. A knight named Arviragus and his wife Dorigen love each other deeply. When he lives for battle, or when Arviragus leaves for a battle, Dorigen, the wife, promises a squire named Aurelius that she will love him only if he can remove all the rocks from the coast. A magician helps create the illusion that the rocks are gone. When Aurelius asks her to keep her word, Arviragus insists that she must, but Aurelius, who were touched by their honesty, lets her go for free. It's a beautiful story about truth, virtue, and moral integrity. Next is the physician's tale. A knight named Virginius has a daughter, Virginia, who is so beautiful that a corrupt judge named Appius conspires to take her away. To protect her from dishonor, Virginius sadly kills her. Appius is later punished and Virginius is pardoned. It's a tragic reminder of honor and justice. Another is the Pardoner's Tale. Now this one is famous. The pardoner, who sells fake religious relics, tells a story to preach against greed. Ironically, the sin he commits himself. Three drunk young men go searching for death after it kills their friend. They find a pile of gold under a tree and plot to kill each other so one can have it all. In the end, all three of them died, poisoned and stabbed by greed. The lesson in this tale is very clear. Greed is the root of all evil. Another is the shipman's tale. A monk borrows money from a merchant and then gives it to the merchant's wife in exchange for sleeping with her. When the merchant asks for repayment, the monk says he already gave it to the wife. It's a tale about deceit, lust, and manipulation. Next tale is the Prioress Tale. This tale tells the story of a young Christian boy who sings a hymn to the Virgin Mary in a Jewish town. The Jews kill him, but through divine miracle, he continues to sing after death until justice is done. It's a tale about faith and innocence, but it also sadly reflects the anti-Jewish prejudice of Chaucer's time. Another is the Sir Topas tale. Here, Chaucer himself tells a silly story about Sir Topas, a knight searching for an elf queen to marry. It's so boring that the host stops him mid-story. Actually, it's meant as a joke about bad storytelling. Another is the tale of Mileby. In this tale, Mileby wants revenge on the men who attacked his family, but his wise wife, Prudence, convinces him to forgive them instead. This tale teaches wisdom, patience, and forgiveness. Next tale is the Monk's Tale. The monk tells a collection of short, tragic stories about great people like Lucifer, Samson, and Nero who fall from power. It's about how fortune changes and no one is safe from downfall. Another tale is the Nan's Priest Tale, one of the best ones. It's a fable about a proud rooster named Chanticleer who dreams that a fox will catch him. His wife mocks him, but the dream comes true. The fox flutters him into singing and robs him, but Chanticleer escapes by using the fox's own trick. This tale is funny, clever, and full of lessons about pride and flattery. Next is the Second Nun's Tale. This tale tells the life of Saint Cecilia, a devout Christian who converts her husband and brother-in-law to the faith. All three are executed for refusing to renounce their beliefs. It's a story about faith and spiritual purity. Another is the Canon's Yeoman, or the Canon's Yeoman's Tale. The yeoman exposes his master, which is a canon, who is a fake alchemist scamming people. He explains the trick behind their false magic. It warns against fraud and greed. Another tale is the Manciple's Tale. Here, the god Phoebus, who's also known as Apollo, has a talking crow, or a talking white crow. When the crow tells him that his wife has been unfaithful, Phoebus kills her wife, or Phoebus kills her in anger. Realizing his mistake, he curses the crow, turning its feathers black. The moral of this story is think before you speak. Another tale is the Parson's Tale. Finally, the parson ends the journey with a sermon instead of a story. He talks about repentance, sin, and the path to salvation. It's a fitting, serious ending to all the tales. And that's it for the summary of the Canterbury Tales.